Our management has been evolving over the last decade or so. There have been further differences in terms of the roles. I personally worked as a B2B as well as a B2C product manager, and I know there's a growing number of people who want to transition or want to grow their experience wider. In this video, I really want to share from my experience what are the key differences between B2B and B2C and how you can prepare for a transition if this is what you're looking. A few years ago, I moved from B2B to B2C. My B2B role was in two large organizations. I mainly worked with a ton of customers and I worked as a data PM. My B2C roles have been in startup and scale-ups, mainly e-commerce. So there will be differences there in terms of the company type as well as the role, but I'll go into more detail. In my B2B roles, I developed strength in the following skills. First one is prioritization. So in a B2B role, I feel like that you are closer to knowing your customers. They can be internal users or other services in the business if you are managing an API. There are always more requests than resources available. Hence, you need to develop ruthless prioritization and also develop the skill of saying no to your stakeholders, because a lot of the times your stakeholders will also be your customers. So you need to directly have reasons and be able to really influence your customers to understand why you've made those prioritization calls. Secondly, breaking down scope into MVP and iterations. Depending on the complexity of your product, you'll be probably building features that take a bit longer, that involve complex systems, and that generally run across multiple teams. In these situations, you really need to develop the skill of facilitation as well as the skill of breaking down scope into what is the most important, what comes after, and really have differentiated view between minimum viable product, phases, and what will come after. Third one is managing risks and dependencies. Really much linked to the second point around breaking down scope. You'll also be the person really understanding the dependencies between what you're building, other teams, and you need to develop the skill of managing those risks, understanding them, and also keeping updated a potentially large group of stakeholders to make sure that you'll be able to manage the expectations. Now, what are the key differences between B2B and B2C? One key difference for me is how do you manage ambiguity. B2C roles tend to have a larger volume of customers and a bigger variety of customers. It means that the key skill in B2C is how do you segment and understand different customer needs. It's really important to have a range of techniques and skills to run user research, but also to create structure and frameworks for mapping out the different opportunities based on the different customer needs, and be able to prioritize concepts such as user personas that will really help you to start differentiating between all your different customers. Another big part of managing ambiguity is about product discovery. It's about prioritizing opportunity spaces and validating assumptions early. So I believe that in a B2C role, you have less confidence on the success of a feature because you don't know how your end user, your customers are going to react to it. Hence, it's really important for you to prioritize opportunities and to test them early. This means that the focus is on creating clear hypotheses linked to customer problems and having ways in which you're going to validate all these hypotheses early. And then thirdly is all about the fact that the feedback cycles are actually a lot shorter. Again, linked to the fact that the confidence of a success is lower and the metrics are slightly different on a B2C role, you will need to have faster feedback cycles so that you don't spend too much time on a feature that might not add enough value. How to prepare for your transition. So my main advice when it comes to moving into a B2C role is to develop skills around product discovery and manage ambiguity. And really understand frameworks that will be able to really help you structure opportunity spaces. And here are some resources. One person that I really recommend is Teresa Torres. She has so much information about product discovery and she explains really, really well the framework of opportunity solution trees. They're amazing for you to have an initial view of how to structure opportunity spaces. Second advice is around get comfortable with running user research, from setting up the questions to running the actual sessions. And I think that's something you can already do in a B2B role, but when it comes to B2C, you really need to be comfortable to talk to customers you've never met before. And thirdly, I would definitely recommend understanding experimentation and hypothesis. Running A/B tests and being able to quantify and capture quantitative data is a really key part of B2C, because with a wider range of ambiguity, you really need to be able to have the skills to structure data and this information into a way that will really help you make better decisions. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more product management tips. Bye.